me, I'll come here.
Is that a problem?
Let's stick with Turkey, if we may, and let me turn to Nazlı Akyüz. Nazlı is with the Istanbul Metropolitan Municipality Council in Turkey. And in turning to you, Nazlı, I'm both keen on introducing the threading, if you like, from the local projected to the national, projected to the international, in a sense. You have the imprisonment of an elected leader for reasons that have been obviously put forward by the government. But if I could turn to you with your thoughts on how things stand, in particular after Garo has introduced the aspect of the EU, certain EU member states. I know you have been part in initiatives like transnational cooperation, the B40 Balkan Cities Network, Turkey-EU relations and all. And with that, if I could kindly turn to you with a melange of the situation in Turkey and how does this international parameter play into it? Thank you.
Pleasure, thank you. I'm Nazlı, coming from Istanbul, and it's very honor for me to be here. And also many thanks to Alexis Tsipras Institute for bringing us, all of us here together. So it's very honor to be here. As I said, I'm coming from Istanbul, that another ancient city where democracy is not merely a heritage, but a living, fiercely defended ideal. We are gathered at a time when democracy is in retreat, not only throughout brute authoritarianism, but through a slower erosion of trust, truth and justice. Liberal democracies have declined to levels not seen in decades. Elected governments dismantle checks and balances from within. Polarization hollows out the public square. Inequalities chips away at legitimacy, so we can make more examples. The European project too, when we think about it, faces a reckoning from the European Parliament in Brussels to the ballot boxes in municipal elections. Progressive and regressive forces are in direct confrontation. The challenge before us is not only to defend democracy from external threats, but to renew it from within. And that renewal must be anchored in justice, inclusion, and accountability. When I come back to Mr. Ekrem İmamoğlu, in my country, we are facing a fight for democracy with devastating clarity, to be honest. The mayor of Istanbul, Mr. Ekrem İmamoğlu, whom I proudly serve alongside, is currently in prison. His detention on March 19, 2025 was not the beginning but the latest chapter in a long campaigning to silence democratic leadership. According to independent polls, I can tell that Ekrem İmamoğlu is the next president of Turkey. The legal harassment against him began when he was elected the mayor of Istanbul, Turkey's largest and most strategic city, Istanbul, which is a powerhouse also for the country. So it wasn't easy and acceptable for the hegemony, for the Erdogan. In 2019, İmamoğlu defeated the ruling party in Istanbul's municipal elections. So what happened? You can guess. The result was annulled. And then the people, us, gave him another greater victory in the rerun election. And then what happened? The state apparatus turned against him, against İmamoğlu, and lawsuits were filed, budgets transferred were blocked, municipal activities were sabotaged, and inspectors swarmed city halls, and also some funds were even cut off. Eventually, Ekrem İmamoğlu's university degree was cancelled. Can you imagine, like 35 years old university degree now cancelled? Ekrem İmamoğlu's image removed from public, and Ekrem İmamoğlu's voice silenced outline. So this is really, really unbelievable. But the people of Turkey continue to speak up despite all the risks. What about İmamoğlu? I can tell that he is definitely not broken. He is preparing. His health is good. His moral is high. His resolve to build a democratic future is stronger than ever. He, like us, is aware that this is not simply the repression of one man. It's a coordinated effort to undermine the will of people who voted for him as mayor and the next presidential candidate in open primaries. It's an attempt to undermine local governance and dismantle democratic will at the city level. To date, 11 elected mayors have been removed from office, and dozen municipal officers, including close members of İmamoğlu's team, are under arrest or in custody in Istanbul. Even now, when I'm talking to you, some of our mayors from opposition party might be having some operation from government. What they cannot defeat at the ballot box, actually they now try to suppress through the courts. So that's unfortunately the atmosphere that we are living in Turkey. I'm sure we are all agree that this situation, this problem is not a national issue. It's a scar on global democracy and a warning to all who believe in democracy. And now, just to bring some solution or what we can do, when I think not loud, I can say, let's speak out. When an elected mayor is stripped of his duties without a sentence against him, this is not something the international democratic community can ignore. What's happening in Turkey is not different from erosion of democracy in Hungary, Poland, or elsewhere. We are all standing on shared democratic ground. Another thing, let's stand in solidarity. These attacks are not only against İmamoğlu, but against the people of Istanbul, against all of us who fight for democracy, against all of us that we are here to talk about democracy. So this situation, this problem is not only about national issue, about all of us. And all progressive movements must support stronger local governments and the institutionalization of participatory democracy. And lastly, let's keep fighting. This is not just a struggle for today, this is also a struggle for tomorrow. A more free and democratic equal society can only be built by resisting oppression. And also, I would like to make a reminder the great role visionary leadership, how can play a great leadership, not only in their own countries, but in advancing global peace. In 1934, former Greek Prime Minister Eleftherios Venizelos nominated Mustafa Kemal Atatürk for the Nobel Peace Prize. It was a gesture of courage and vision, one that celebrated a shared commitment to peace despite painful histories. As a reflection of that spirit, the B40 Balkan Cities Network was established in 2021 under the leadership of Ekrem İmamoğlu. And now Istanbul, Athens, and numerous Balkan cities are members of that platform, and they are committed to regional solidarity and collaboration under the motto, better cooperation, better future for all of us. Again, that spirit, it's worth underlining that a democratic Turkey, anchored in Europe and a member of European Union, would be an asset to entire continent, linking region, diversifying energy routes, stabilizing migration, and anchoring peace in a fragile geography. And no country would benefit in Turkey's European Union's vocation than Greece. Why? Because we are sharing a rich history together. My last words, hope is here. I see that. Hope is here. So let us merely not just admire democracy, let us fight for democracy. So I would like to last my words saying, free İmamoğlu.